3:15?
Look.
Yeah.
No, you're supposed to stay the whole 4 hours, remember? I mean, the whole 3 hours, you said no.
Well, you were also supposed to be here 12:45.
I was up there doing that ear thing.
Alright.
You think that? I had somebody else to do it for me. You think I would have somebody cook my food for me in real life? I'm real funny.
Okay, so I'm just going to start from example 1, okay? My directions say sketch the graph of each line.
Watch your language. I know,
So sketch the graph of each line. Thank you. Big thing we want to start off with. Recognize what the directions are asking for. Okay? So when it says sketch the graph of each line, and you're given a graph on your paper, they want you to draw a line on your paper. That's what sketch a graph means. Okay? It means literally figure out where the dots go and draw a line. A lot of people like to take that and say they have to figure out the intercepts and all this other stuff. If you just pay attention to what the directions say, even on your basic assignments, you won't make yourself do all this extra work. That's a huge issue because a lot of people are giving themselves extra work that they don't need and they're not realizing it. Alright? So I've got sketch the graph of each line. Let's hope one of these markers works. So my first one, x plus y equals 2. Okay? X plus y equals 2. I want to put this in the form of y equals mx plus b. I want to put this in this form. Who knows what this form's called?
Slope. Intercept form.
Slope-intercept.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to put this in this form because this number right here, b, tells me where it's going to cross my y-axis, or axis. Alright, so b tells me where on the y-axis. This is the y-axis. Y is always up and down. This tells me that rise over run. This is my slope. So this tells me how many spaces to move. How many spaces to move. I know it's kind of crooked, I apologize. Alright? So I want to start off by putting it in the right form. I'm going to subtract my x. I have a positive x. I'm going to subtract my x. Remembering that whenever you see a letter without a number in front of it, it always has a 1. A lot of people like to rewrite 1 on there. That's fine. But you need to get into the mindset that there's already a 1 there. That means 1x. Right? If I had 2x, right? This is 1x. This is 2x. I have 2x. X is representing something. X could be representing number of markers. So I've got 1 marker, 2 markers. Alright?
Another answer.
Yeah. No. So I've got 1x minus 1x. Remembering that this equal sign means something. That means that I've got this big scale, and right now everything is at a level. It's perfectly even. If I take off 1x from this side, it's going to be lighter. So I have to take off 1x from this side. I have to make sure they remain equal. So, but this isn't an x. So I'm going to put it right here.
Minus 1x.
Minus 1x. This becomes a 0. That minus sign and that 0 are important A lot of people aren't putting that minus sign, they'll just put it underneath it, and they think that they understand, that they know that means minus. Well, then you come over here, and if you don't put it down there, you might mistakenly put down plus x over here. I've seen that a lot as well. Okay? So when you try to skip steps, that's where you start to mess up. Because until you know this like the back, front, and somebody else's hands, you don't know it. There's always room to mess up. That's why we have partial credit. Because we know we messed up. And if we mess up as, college-educated people that have done this how many times, you guys think you've done this a lot. You have no idea how many times I've written down this stuff. Okay? But I will still mess up. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will still mess up a lot. But I still write out every single step. Just to make sure that I'm reminding myself that I need to write out every single step because I am not perfect.
Yeah, that green marker ain't doing the job right.
Let's see what we got.
Yeah.
It looks like it's right though. It looks like it's
We like that better.
How's
Yeah,
that?
I can see bold. Anything that's bold right now, I can see that.
Okay.
From a distance or whatever.
I don't know, what Miss
Why do you
Kristen?
put the 0 for it? It's just, I mean, why?
Why put the 0? Because I want you to recognize that's what you're doing. You're creating 0. Some people, that's the integer thing, when you have a negative plus a negative, that kind of stuff. You're making a 0. So if you look back at this and your answer is not 0, it's not right. So if I accidentally put a plus there and I look back at it, now I'd have 2x and not 0. I want 0 because I want it gone.
So, but that's what I do. Like, when I cancel it out, I just cross it out, put 0, I just make something.
And like I said, that kind of stuff is fine. It's still right because it's yours, but you will mess up less if you write out all the steps. You will have a better understanding of it, especially. Because like I just said, I've seen a lot of people that don't write down the sign. They might even put 0 here. But then when they bring it over to this side, when they bring it over to this side, they write the opposite sign. Some people write like crazy things over here, like they might just write 4x because they feel like it. I don't know where it comes from, but they get all crazy. Like maybe they see the plus sign and they think it's a 4 and they bring it over here because they're trying to rush. I've seen a lot of crazy things. Okay, so now, I don't do anything else. I bring it all straight down. Everything comes straight down. I rewrite it as y equals 2 minus x. Is this in the right form? Of y equals mx plus
I
b,
want to take pictures.
right? I should just rewrote it. It looks crazy. Okay, so I want y equals mx plus b. I need to flip these.
Y equals negative 1.
Negative 1x minus 2. I mean,
Plus
plus 2.
Plus 2.
Plus 2.
Add your, don't you gotta put a 0 under your xy? I mean your minus x or your negative 1?
No.
Right. Do I need to put a 1 there?
Yeah. No,
No.
I'm saying underneath it.
Do I need to put a 0?
Yeah. No, a 1.
A 1?
Yeah.
You mean like divide everything by 1?
No, I'm asking you. Don't we supposed to put a 1 under there? Like, alright, you're gonna start at 2, right?
Right.
And then you got negative 1.
Mm-hmm.
So down.
So
Oh,
you're gonna go down
you mean
1
like
and
1 over 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just not to that yet.
Oh, okay.
Next thing. I always want this to be...
Switch it every time.
Huh?
You gotta switch it
You
every time.
don't, but I
You
mean,
don't, but
just,
if you don't get it right every time when you put it on the graph, then you need to. There's a lot of things in math that you don't have to do. But if you try to skip steps, that's what I'm trying to get across. If you try to skip steps, or if you try to shortcut it in any way, that's when you start to mess up.
Your y always gonna be in there.
It is always going to say y equals negative x plus 2 when we're doing stuff like this.
Something, or minus something.
The form is this right here.
Sorry.
This is like a puzzle. When you see these formulas, this is like a puzzle. So that's why I was telling everybody yesterday, when you have your... Hey, Miss Mary. When you have your formulas like this, and when you see it on a test or anything, you should automatically think to yourself, this is a puzzle. Alright? And I know I've got a bunch of numbers, and if anything, I can take some of those numbers and put it into my puzzle. Try to figure out what fits. Okay?
So how did they get to be a negative x though?
A negative x? So up here, I had x plus y equals 2 is my original formula.
Okay,
I subtracted x on both sides.
okay,
This side came out to 0,
okay.
because that's what I want, because I want my y by itself. Whenever you want a letter by itself, when you're solving for a letter, because that's what we're doing. Right now we're solving for y. Y just happens to represent a little bit more this time.
So that's the end of it? What you do, flip it?
This right here
And then you
is the end. Now I have to recognize what I have,
Now all you gotta do is graph it.
right? So if I redo my formula over here,
Okay.
I've got y equals negative x plus 2. Where is it going to cross my y-axis?
2. Positive 2.
Positive 2. So I don't even have a graph on here, but I can figure this out, okay? 1, 2. I put a dot right here.
And then negative. Go
Hold on,
down.
wait. What can I also label this dot as?
A, I mean Y. I mean B.
How about 0, 2?
Oh, okay.
What you mean?
Oh, yeah, that's what on the graph is 0, 2.
Yeah.
When you're finding the coordinates, this is also known as 0, 2. One of the things on the test yesterday was something like y
Yeah.
equals something.
Y equals 2.
That's a line.
I'm not.
That's why I wanted to point this out, okay? So we'll go over one like that.
I didn't get that one when she.
And we will get to that, but that's why I wanted to point it out right now. So this is not y equals 2.
No.
This
Okay,
is
wait a minute.
Zero.
Wait. So
B.
you said y equals, and then it just got a 2 on the side, right? And that's it.
y equals negative x plus 2,
Okay.
okay?
No, I'm talking about, I got.
Hold on.
About that part.
This right here is known as a point on our graph, also a coordinate on our graph, as 0, comma, 2. This is not y equals 2. Y equals 2 is a line.
Okay.
This is B, because that's what it's representing. This right here is B,
Yeah.
not Y. Y equals this whole thing.
Yeah.
I'll make my Y better. Y equals this whole thing.
Okay, okay. I
And
got it.
then the negative
2.
X, that's the slope.
Yeah.
X is its own thing. X is just X.
Oh,
But
so
this
that's your
number
slope?
here in front of X, remember we had our imaginary 1?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's the slope.
That's the slope.
You right. You right.
Okay, I'll put M.
Messing up.
I know. Alright, that number,
So
not,
2 is to be in the one, this imaginary line, this K is X. That's considered as 1.
okay, yes,
I mean, M.
M, yes. So there's a 1 right there.
Yeah.
That threw me off too.
And then the M and the X, I mean the M and the X, that's what you multiplying together.
Yeah, see up here how it's MX?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 letters next to each other always means to multiply. So this is also
Yeah.
parentheses M, parentheses X,
Oh, okay.
if you want to think of it that way, if that helps.
Down there?
Okay, so we marked our B, so this point,
Negative 1.
keep on both of you. This point is 2, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm going to erase my coordinate here. I could also mark it as B,
Yeah.
because that is B,
Don't make me a push.
What's the B?
2. Because we said over here, B is 2. So B equals 2. Alright, so our slope, back to what Deja was saying, how she was saying it was over 1, any whole number, it doesn't matter what it is over 1. Because when you think about it, remember as fractions, if I have a number over a number, this is also seen as division.
Mhm.
Okay? So if I have 7, I can always put that over 1
Yep.
because it's the same thing as 1 into 7.
Okay, I got a question though.
Yeah.
So like, all right, I'm gonna use 7 over 14. When we reduce that, do we use the fraction that we reduce, or we use the
7 over 14 is the same thing as 1 over 2 as far as the slopes go.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, will we use that though?
Use the smaller number.
Okay.
Make it easier on yourself.
Okay, so
Yeah.
with that right there, so you go up 1 and go over 7.
No, you go.
The Y is on top.
Yeah.
So it's always y over x.
Then you go,
And y is always
you go
up and down.
7 and over 1.
No, you go up 7, down 1.
Down.
I mean,
Hold on.
Up, wait.
Don't confuse anybody.
over 1, up 7, over 1.
Yeah.
7.
Up 7, over 1.
Over.
Okay? So this is what you're seeing when you see this. And any whole number can be over 1. So for our particular graph that we're doing right now, yes.
Alright, so what if you ain't got enough to go up? You go down, right?
Yeah, you gotta turn it into.
If you don't have enough room, and we'll flip it. We'll flip it right now. So our graph that we have right now is -1. That's our slope.
Over 1.
Okay. This is also the same as -1 over 1. It's also the same as 1 over -1. I'll rewrite this to make it look a little better. So m is equal to -1 is equal to -1 over 1 is equal to 1 over -1. Because what is 1 divided by 1?
1.
What is a negative and a positive?
A negative.
So it doesn't ever change, but we need to know what the bottom and top numbers are and which direction we need to go. That's why we need to put it back into a fraction form like this. So then when I come over here to my point, I'll just toss in some lines on my graph. I don't know which way I'm going yet. Okay? So I'm going to say I want to use this one.
Yeah.
You can pick whichever one you want, it doesn't matter. Well, my top number is negative, so -1 means I go down.
And then over to the right one.
I go down one spot, I don't put a dot there, but I kind of put my finger there, I rest it there. And then my next number is a +1, which is in the x direction, okay? So I've got y over x. This is x, again, this is y. So I go down 1 for my -1.
But you in the positive area up there, doing the -1.
I start from my b. My b is my starting point.
No, I was serious on the B.
Starting
I
point.
thought you were starting at the
T is
I didn't know you was using the 2 to go down to the, I thought you were saying
The top
-1.
negative.
That's what you did, you got the 2 in the positive, and you go down -1.
Yeah, see,
Right.
like the second one right there, you see how the first one is positive?
Yeah, I seen it, what I'm saying with Miss Cleo, when she said -1, she mentioned about that 2. That's why I said, why you in the positive area doing
Yeah.
-1?
See,
And now
now
I caught what you was doing.
See, like the second one she'll go up 1, and then she'll go to the left.
Yeah.
1, you know, so it's.
Okay, so I'm going to go down 1 for my -1, and I'm going to go to the right,
Okay.
and that's where my next dot's going to be. Now, I could leave it like this. If I want to check myself to make sure everything's going right, then I'm going to use my other one. I'm going to double check my work with my little, this thing. So I'm going to say, okay, well now my y, my top number, my numerator, is +1, so I'm going to go up 1. Again, I do not put a dot there, but I just kind of rest my finger there. Now my denominator, my x value is -1. So I'm going to go back 1, and here's my dot.
Still going in the negative direction.
So now, if I look at these, and I'm playing connect the dots at all times. I'm in a line, I'm good. These arrows are also important.
So you saying if I go up one more?
But it's on video.
Oh, my bad, I can't see.
You're the one that backed it up so I could put it on video, and you're trying to touch things. Alright.
Are you really teaching that right now?
Yeah, I'm getting on tape. Okay, alright, she had her moment of fame, we're good.
I'm mad though, you ain't put me on there. No, you cut
Famous now, you're famous.
Yeah, on your video.
I got subscribers everywhere, yeah.
What's you say my name is?
Go ahead.
No, I'm just playing.
You're killing me. Alright, okay, so back to work. So, I flipped it, right? I didn't really flip it, I just used my other option to check my work. Now, you don't have to do this, but if you want to know what's going on, this is what's going on. Okay, so I started with a -1x. That's all I had to start with. I turned it into a fraction. One number was negative and one number was positive, so everything still equaled this answer. Then I start from my b, right? Here's my b. I even marked it b. B is always my starting point, not 0. Alright? So my b equals 2 on the y-axis. I use my slope to find my next point. I connect the dots. That's all I needed to do for this. So this said, sketch the graph of each line, and that's all I got to do. I don't have to worry about slope-intercept or any of that other stuff. Really, all of this stuff was just to help me find this graph. So anything else you do above and beyond this is just you doing it. What you're getting graded on is this line. Good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that was sketching a line. Okay, so we're going to go into a different sketch the line problem. We're going to do one of those horizontal slopes. Remember we talked about horizontal and vertical? One's 0 and one's undefined and blah, blah, blah.
There was a problem on there too like that.
Yeah, I know,
I
that's why
think
we're
that's
doing
one on my skit.
Because everybody looked at it and they're like, I just thought it was a dot. Okay. So we're still sketching the graph of each line, remembering that it is important to know what the directions are actually asking us. Now that we have better markers, thanks to Anonymous over here who doesn't want her line name on YouTube.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to go with y equals 3.
This
This is still a line. This is not a coordinate. A coordinate is written x, comma, y every time.
So it's 3, 0.
That's what's a straight line.
It is just a straight line. It is a horizontal line. So here's my graph. I don't have to worry about anything on the x. I go 1, 2, 3. This is 3. Alright, I made it dotted so you can make sure to see the difference between the regular x-axis and the line that I just created.
So it's 3, 0, right?
It is not 3, 0.
0, 3.
It is y equals 3. This point
But I
right
thought
here,
you just said though.
I said it's not a coordinate. This is a coordinate.
Oh, okay.
This is a line. So this is a line. Right? That's our line. This is a point.
But hold on. If it's X, if it's Y, why you go across and not up and down?
Do I have any x value?
Oh, but X is across.
X is across.
X is up and down.
X is up and down.
Oh.
Okay? So if I wrote this as a point, 1, 2, 3. This is 0, 3. This is y equals 3. Did I have to do any of that slope intercept, find, blah, blah, blah for this? Nope. This is one of the easiest problems possible. All I had to see is y equals 3 and draw my line. And again, this is only dotted so that you guys can see the difference between the x-axis, which is this right here, and the line that I just created.
Come on, you messing up your YouTube video.
With what?
Cause you
YouTube loves my sweet tea.
Huh?
YouTube loves my sweet tea.
So that really be on YouTube? So if I type that in on YouTube, you gonna pop up?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna see me. Right in the middle of your camera.
What you mean?
Huh?
What you mean?
Bro, she on
I recorded
YouTube,
it.
bro.
It's on YouTube.
Go say your name, bro.
What you mean?
See, I can't. I got one after my
I got warrants out for my arrest. I can't be on YouTube. Yeah.
And people be watching.
Yeah.
You can get how many likes you
Well, I mean, how much time do we actually have in class? And everybody gets upset when she erases things too quick, right? Or when any teacher erases anything too quick,
Why
right?
you seeing it on YouTube?
Nobody's gonna watch it.